Hello Vaishnavi.
Hello, sir.
So now Vaishnavi, tell me about yourself and your technical skill.
I am Vaishnavi Sopde from Khamgaon. I have completed my bachelor's in computer science from Mavli College of Engineering and Technology, Shegaon. Recently, I have joined Amit IT for the training, where I have got the technical skills like Spring Boot, OOPS, multi-threading, exception handling, Java 8 feature, collections, Java 17, and I can also achieve the database connectivity with the help of Spring Data JPA. Apart from this, I also know some design patterns like factory design pattern and template design pattern, and I am familiar with some databases like MySQL and PostgreSQL. That's all about me, sir.
Okay, what is the core feature of Spring Boot?
So the core feature of Spring Boot is dependency injection, sir.
Okay, tell me about it.
So dependency injection is a core feature of Spring Boot that helps to make our application loosely coupled. So here, instead of we creating the object, Spring will create the object for us. We will just inject that object in the field.
Okay, now moving ahead to next question. Tell me what is IOC stands for?
So IOC stands for Inversion of Control Principle. So Spring IOC container follows the IOC principle.
Okay, what are the types of IOC container do you know?
So I mainly know the two types of IOC container like bin factory and application context.
Okay, as you mentioned the Spring Boot and JPA, all those things.
Yes, sir.
So you have also connected the databases, correct?
Yes.
So tell me which Java library do you use for the connecting the database?
JPA.
Okay, tell me about it.
So Spring Data JPA is a module of Spring Boot which helps to perform the database operation. So we have to only extend our repository with JPA repository, and it provides some methods like save, find by ID, find all to perform the database query.
What are the annotations you use?
So till date I have used the REST controller, entity, service, exception handler, controller advice, then async annotation and many others.
Okay, as you mentioned that exception handler, tell me what is exception handler?
So exception handler annotation is used when we want to create a global exception handler. So instead of writing multiple try catch block in classes or methods, we can use global exception handler.
Okay, tell me what is exception?
So exception is an unwanted event that occurs in our application. To handle that event, we can use exception handling in which it uses try catch block.
Okay, tell me about try catch blocks.
So whatever code we think that which can cause exception, we can write it inside the try block, and we can catch that exception in catch block.
Okay, suppose there is one exception occurs in the catch block, then what
Mhm.
will happen?
So we will get the message that we have sent it in the catch block.
Tell me what is thread?
So thread is the smallest unit of work.
Okay, how we are going to create the thread in
So
Java?
there are mainly 4 ways to create the thread. We can extend with the help of thread class, implementing from runnable interface, implementing from callable interface, and by using lambda expression in Java 8.
Okay, as you mentioned Java 8, tell me what are the features of Java 8?
So the main features of Java 8 is functional interface, lambda expression, and stream API.
Okay, what is stream API?
So Stream API is a powerful feature of Java 8 which is used to represent the sequence of object. So it allows developer to perform the operations like filtering, mapping and sorting. It provides two type of operation, terminal operation and intermediate operation. Intermediate operation is used to configure the stream, while terminal operation is used to generate the result. There are mainly two types of stream, parallel stream and sequential stream.
Okay, what are the difference between parallel stream and stream?
So in sequential stream, there is only one thread will work, while in parallel stream, it divides the stream in multiple blocks and multiple thread can work together simultaneously in parallel stream.
Okay, now moving ahead, what is collection?
So collection is an interface which is used to represent a group of objects. It has multiple implementations like list, set, queue.
Okay, uh, if I am iterating one collection and at that time I am also modifying that collection,
Mhm.
what thing will happen?
So it will throw the concurrent modification exception.
Okay, what is concurrent modification exception and how we are going to cope up with this exception?
Okay, so when we are performing reading and writing operations simultaneously while iterating a collection, then concurrent modification exception occurs. We can resolve that exception with the help of concurrent collection.
Okay, what are the types of concurrent collection do you know?
The concurrent collection I know are copy on write array list, copy on write array set, and concurrent hash map.
Okay, as you mentioned hash map,
Mhm.
which comes in the which collection? It is a part of collection or it comes under the hierarchy of collection?
It is a part of collection framework. It is not a part of collection hierarchy.
Tell me about the hash map.
So hash map is used to store the data in the key value pair. It don't allows the duplicate key. When you want to store the data in the key value pair, then you can go for hash map.
Okay. What are the working, or do you heard about the equals and hash code method?
Yes, sir.
So what is the contract between them?
So when equal methods give true, then hash code will be same.
Okay. Do you know about the internal working of hash map?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about it.
So when we create the object of the hash map, it will first create the array of default size 16. And when we insert any new element, it will first calculate the bucket index. To calculate the bucket index, it uses one formula, hash code of key divided by number of bucket minus 1, and then insert the element. If multiple elements are assigned the same bucket, then it will use equals method to compare them. If equal methods give true, then it will replace the existing value with the new value. If equal methods give false, then it will create a new node at same bucket and insert the element.
Okay. You also know about the annotations, correct?
Yes.
You just give me some annotations. So tell me, what is the difference between REST controller and controller?
So REST controller is used to return the response in JSON or XML format, while controller is used to return the response in HTML pages.
Okay. What are the annotations you use for the database connectivity?
So for database connectivity, I have used the @entity annotation, @table annotation, @id annotation.
Okay. Now tell me, why do we use array list? Okay. What are the implementations of list?
So list has three types of implementation: array list, linked list, and vector.
Okay. Which one is preferable, or what are the scenarios that we have to use? That time array list, then we use vector, and that time we use linked list.
So array list is used when we want to store this data at one place, and linked list is used to store the data in the form of node with the reference of previous node and next node. And vector is used when we want to achieve the synchronization.
Okay, as you tell me, as you said, synchronization.
Hmm.
So, what type of things we have to use for the synchronization? Means I want to know that
Hmm.
when we have to use synchronization and when we don't have to use synchronization.
When we want thread safety, then we use synchronization. When we don't want any thread safety, then we don't have to use the synchronization.
Okay.
If you want performance, then you don't need to use synchronization. But if performance is not an issue for you, then you can use synchronization.
Okay. Inside this string class, what is string class first of all?
So string is a immutable predefined class in Java, which is used to represent the text. It also provides some methods like length, then character at, to uppercase to lowercase, that we can perform on the string.
Okay. But if you tell me that it is a immutable, and if I create one object, that time it creates one object. After that, another time, if I am creating another object for this string, that time we go for the SCP memory. Correct? So how we are going to solve this issue? If we are using string class, that time it is immutable. If we create multiple objects, that time it will acquire so much memory. So that type of thing is memory wastage. So how we are going to cope up with this? So we have two peer classes.
Okay.
First is a string buffer, and then we have string builder. Okay. So as you mentioned, thread safety. What is thread safety?
So when a single thread can access a single collection at a time, it is called as thread safe collection.
Okay. What collections do you know which are the thread safe?
Vector, hash table, and concurrent collection.
Okay. Now moving ahead, tell me, what is the difference between post mapping and get mapping?
So post mapping is used when you want to save any record in the database, while get mapping is used when you want to retrieve any data from the database.
Okay. So many things are going on, like there is SOAP API and then REST API. Can you differentiate between them, or?
Okay. So REST API is less secure, while SOAP is more secure,
Okay.
as it uses XML file to transfer the data. RESTful API are faster, while SOAP APIs are slower. RESTful APIs are flexible, while SOAP APIs are not that much flexible. And yeah, that's.
Okay. What are the ways of communication?
There are two ways of communication: async communication and sync communication. In async communication, there is RESTful API, while in sync communication, there is RabbitMQ and Kafka.
What is thread?
So thread is the smallest unit of work.
Okay. If I want to create thread, how many ways are there?
So there are mainly 4 ways to create the thread: extending from thread class, implementing from runnable interface, implementing from callable interface, and by using Lambda expression in Java 8.
Okay. What is multi-threading?
So when we have multiple independent tasks, then we can go for multi-threading. In multi-threading, multiple thread works together simultaneously to improve the performance.
What is re-entrant lock?
So reentrant lock is the interface. Uh, Reentrant lock is the implementation of lock interface. It has some methods like try lock. Let me think, sir.
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
There are some methods in reentrant lock like lock, unlock, try lock. The lock and unlock is used to define a block of code as synchronized, while try lock is used to check the availability of lock. It also helps to set the waiting time for the thread. So thread will not wait for the lock. It can skip the locked part if required and go for further execution.
What is immutable?
Hmm?
What is immutable?
Immutable means unchangeable. Once you declare the object, you cannot modify that object.
Okay, tell me what is immutable?
So immutable means unchangeable. Once you create the object, you cannot modify that object. We can achieve the immutability by declaring the class as final and variable as final, and not providing the setter method. So no one can modify that object.
As you mentioned in the early, you know the some design patterns.
Yes,
Okay, what kind of design patterns do you know?
I know singleton, factory, and template design pattern.
Okay, tell me what is factory design pattern?
So factory is a design pattern which is used to create the object. So instead of we creating the object, factory will create the object for us, because when we create the object with the help of new keyword, it will be tightly coupling. To avoid this tightly couple, we use factory design pattern.
Okay, which container is used by the Spring?
So Spring is using IOC containers.
So it is also for factory design pattern.
Yes. It also
Okay.
follows the factory design
When
pattern.
application is going to start, when Spring Boot application is going to
Hmm.
start, then what will happen?
So basically, when the Spring Boot application starts, Spring will scan all the classes, and those classes who are having stereotype annotations, it will create the object for those classes and store it into a logical memory in the form of keys and value pair. That logical memory is called as IOC container.
What are the types of stereotype annotation do you know?
So the stereotype annotations are at controller, service, component, and repository.
Okay. Now moving ahead, tell me what are the dependencies you use in your project?
So dependencies: Spring Starter, then Spring Data JPA, and Postgres SQL driver.
Have you used DevTool dependency?
I know about it.
Okay, why do we use DevTool dependency?
So when we add the DevTool dependency, we don't need to restart our application again and again.
Okay. Okay, now moving ahead, tell me what is the difference between @entity and @table?
So @entity is used to map our entity class with the table in the database, while @table is used to change the table name.
Okay. What is the purpose of static keyword?
So static is a keyword in Java which is used at the method level and variable level. Once you declare a method or a variable as static, there will be only one copy of them, and they will be class level. And to call the static method and variable, we don't need to create the object. We can directly access them with the help of class name.
Inside the interface, can we create static method?
Yes, in Java, after Java 8, we can create.
Okay. How we are going to start the thread?
With the help of start method.
Okay. Is there is another way by defaultly, or by which way we can start or manage the thread?
Yes, sir, there is executor service. So executor service is an interface which helps to create and manage the thread for us. We have to just submit the task of runnable and callable for the execution to the executor service, and to retrieve the result, future is used.
Okay.
And executor service provides some thread pools like single thread executor, cached thread pool, fixed thread pool, and scheduled thread pool.
Okay, nice. Okay, have you heard about the dispatcher servlet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me about it.
So dispatcher servlet is the entry point for all the requests. So when the request arrives from the browser, it first go to the dispatcher servlet, and in dispatcher servlet and dispatcher servlets don't know what to do with that request. So it takes the help of the handler mapping. Inside handler mapping, there is a configuration for which request what is controller and method. Then that request is redirected to the controller and that method, and comes back with the response. Again, the dispatcher servlet don't know what to do with that response, so it takes the help of the view resolver. Inside view resolver, there is a configuration about for what response, what is the view, HTML or anything else. Then with the help of that, it will display the view on the browser.
So as you said that there is one HTTP request is comes to dispatcher servlet, right? Dispatcher servlet don't know what to do. That time the exception handler mapping is there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving ahead, if we have one project, inside that project we have order and payment.
Okay.
Okay. One person is ordering something, and after ordering, then we have some payment part. If payment is done, but order is not placed, it is a good scenario or it is bad scenario?
No, definitely not good scenario.
So how we are going to roll back those things?
So we have transaction for that.
So by using transaction, we can roll back those things, correct?
Yes.
So there is any levels for that particular thing, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, transaction provides some propagation level and isolation level for that.
Okay. What are the isolations levels, and just give me the names of propagation levels or isolation levels.
Let me think, sir.
Yeah, take your time. No worries.
Required new, and support not supported. Then one is I am not able to
Yeah,
recall.
no.
Then in isolation level, there are read committed, read uncommitted, and repeated reading and serialization.
What are the standards for handling the exception in Spring Boot?
So we can create the custom exceptions. They are the service-based exception. We can also call them user-defined exceptions. So we create a custom exception like a service-based exception. For example, let's say we have employee service, then we create employee service exception and throw that exception from the service class, and then return the appropriate status code and message with the response entity.
Okay.
In the response entity.
Okay, tell me what is global exception?
So global exception is used to like handle the entire application exception in one place. So we can create the global exception with the help of @controller advice and @exception handler annotation. So instead of writing multiple try catch block in the classes or methods, we can like catch that exception in the global exception handler and then return the response entity with proper HTTP status code and message.
Okay, nice. Now moving ahead, there is any kind of a technology or how we are going to improve the performance of our application?
So there are multiple ways to improve the performance like caching or indexing and load balancing.
Okay, tell me about the cache.
So cache is used to store the data temporarily. There are mainly two types of cache that I know: in-memory cache and distributed cache. In memory cache we have caffeine cache, while in distributed cache we have Redis cache.
You know about the architectures like a monolithic and microservices?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me the advantages and disadvantages about it.
Do you want to tell me the difference, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So microservices let me think, sir, first.
Yeah.
Wait for 1 second, sir.
Okay, first of all, tell me what is monolithic architecture and then go for the microservice. No worries, okay? Yeah.
Monolithic application is a single application where multiple functionalities are written inside single application, while in microservices larger application is divided into small functionalities. In monolithic application it is easier to maintain, while microservices are harder to maintain, we can say. If in monolithic application, if any of the functionalities go down, then entire application goes down and we need to test and redeploy the entire application. While in case of microservices, if any of the functionalities go down, then other will still stay up.
Okay, so one is a part of monolithic architecture which is disadvantage, and there is a microservice which is advantage for that particular architecture.
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
Okay, as you mentioned that you know about the microservices. Okay, then tell me what is Eureka Server?
So Eureka Server is a service registry and discovery. In Eureka Server, all the services will register themselves so that other services can find and communicate with them easily.
Okay, what is API gateway?
So API gateway is the entry point for all the microservices.
Okay,
Whenever the request arrives, it first come to API gateway, and API gateway will redirect that request to the respective services.
okay, tell me what is load balancing?
So load balancing means when we have multiple instances of our application, so it uses some algorithms, let's say round robin, to distribute the request load.
Okay, how two microservices are communicating with each other?
So there are multiple ways like REST template, FAIN client, or we can also do the async communication with the help of RabbitMQ or Kafka.
As you said that there are two ways for communication. First is a synchronous communication, second is asynchronous communication.
Yes,
Why do we need asynchronous communication?
so asynchronous communication is needed when if the message is really important, then if any of the other service, if we have two services A and B, let's say, so if B service gets down, then the message will should not get destroyed or should not get lost. So we use RabbitMQ or Kafka. So Kafka will store that message, and when the other service goes up, then that other service can read that message from Kafka. In that scenario, we can use Kafka or RabbitMQ.
Okay, so this is the scenario there where we can use asynchronous communication.
Yes, sir.
How we are going to secure our Spring Boot application? What are the ways to provide the security to our application?
So I mainly know the two ways: session-based security and JWT security, out of which I think JWT is the best.
Why do we preferring JWT?
Because in session-based security, it will store the session in the application, so our application get heavyweight. Like for let's say if 1000 users are logged in, so it will save 1000 session in our application, which will make our application heavy. But in JWT security, it is stateless, so it will don't save any sessions.
So basically, you are saying that whenever we are using session, that time suppose there are 1000 people are coming there, that time it will create 1000 sessions. So it will affect our application
Yes, sir.
performance, correct? But whenever we are using JWT, that time it is stateless. So that time we don't have to manage those resources
Yes.
as we are managing in the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are correct. Nice. As I conducted your interview, your all answers are correct. Your all the what we can say like your concepts are very clear. So you are very good with the answers. You can crack all the interviews. So all the very best for your future journey and your future interviews.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your appreciation.
Yeah.